I think many people thought that, folding smartphones was going to be the future of mobile computing. And it makes sense, right? You can have a device that has both a big screen and a small form factor. And when you have that kind of combination, well, the possibilities seemed endless. Yet, what was most surprising to me was how quickly these smartphones became, well, boring. And if you want a good example, look no further than Samsung's two brand new smartphones, the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and the Galaxy Z Flip 4. Now, it's imperative that I clear the air right away. When I say boring, I don't also mean that these phones are bad. In fact, if you take these devices in isolation, it's actually quite incredible what they've managed to do with a smartphone that can literally fold in half. But if we're talking about what should be the future of mobile computing, it's kind of disappointing how unremarkably similar the experience of using a folding phone is to any other smartphone. Sure, there are subtle differences, of course. With Samsung's brand new Galaxy Z Fold 4, for example, you do get a bit more substance to go with the rest of the phone. One new feature that I particularly enjoyed was the addition of the taskbar to the bottom of the unfolded screen. I've always been critical of how Samsung's not really taking full advantage of its larger displays on the previous Fold models, but this is absolutely a step in the right direction. In concept, it's sort of like an extension of Samsung's Edge panels. Only Edge panels are still there, so now you have double the quick access to your apps. What the taskbar does differently is that it's always on screen unless you launch apps in multi-window. In practice, it works very similarly to Samsung's DeX or an iPad OS taskbar. There are a collection of apps pinned to the taskbar that you can quickly tap to switch between, and you can also drag them up to immediately set them into multi-window mode, which makes the whole user experience very intuitive. If you want to access more of your apps, you can also tap on the All Apps button to bring up your app drawer the way you would with an actual computer, which is great, something I'm sure power users will appreciate. But beyond that, there really wasn't a whole lot else that was new with this smartphone. Even from a design and build standpoint, or the way it looks, it's still very similar to its predecessor. In fact, I think they could have just shipped the Galaxy Z Fold 3 with this new software update, and I think it would have probably performed very similarly. I mean, yes, you do get updated internal specifications, and onboard storage does go all the way up to 1TB now. Plus, the gorgeous 120Hz Infinity Flex AMOLED display has a slightly better adaptive refresh rate now, with the ability to go all the way down to just 1 Hz. Samsung said that the new cover screen is also slightly wider than its predecessor, but in my hands, it still looks a little too tall to replace the regular smartphone part of this in-folding device. This new Galaxy Fold also gets the Galaxy S22's triple camera setup, but it's not the quad camera setup that comes with the S22 Ultra, so again, it's still not the best camera system Samsung puts into their phone. In fact, the Z Fold 4 isn't even particularly ahead of the curve when it comes to some aspects of regular smartphone development either. For example, in a world where the OnePlus 10T can push 150 watts of fast charging goodness, the Galaxy Z Fold 4 tops out at 25 watts. Honestly, they should have just called it the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3S or something like that, because unlike its predecessors, I just don't see a big enough jump between this and the Z Fold 3 to really justify the new number. And if I'm being really honest, I don't think that a smartphone that you're going to be marketing as boundary pushing should ever come with a talk upgrade the way this one does. It should always be pushing boundaries. Which is why I'm far more receptive to the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4, because to me that's more of the everyman folding phone, or the folding smartphone that everyone can buy. Granted, if you want to talk about new features, the Galaxy Z Flip 4 probably has even fewer than the Fold. But again, unlike the Z Fold 4, I've always thought of this more like the folding phone for the people. So I can forgive the fact that this smartphone is still pretty much identical to its predecessor. They haven't gotten rid of the thigh gap, nor have they gotten rid of the crease. The shape and size also still feels identical in the hand, so it's not like they're making it more pocketable either. Its main screen is pushed a little more to the edges, so you get slimmer bezels, but unless you're looking at both the Flip 3 and Flip 4 side by side, I doubt you'll be able to tell the difference. There is a new signature color called Bora Purple, where Bora is apparently Korean for purple, so technically I guess this phone is called Purple Purple. Build also feels largely the same, with the only major difference being that they swapped the glossy back for a frosted one and they swapped the matte frame for a glossy one. There's also still no telephoto camera, so you're stuck with a 12 megapixel dual camera system where one is wide and the other is ultra wide. But alongside the updated internals and new 512GB storage option, Samsung did address one of the Galaxy Z Flip 3's biggest weakness, its battery. Now the new Flip 4 comes with a 3700 mAh cell, which is 400 mAh larger than its predecessor, and that's not an insignificant amount. True, it still only comes with 25W fast wired charging and 10W wireless charging like the Galaxy Z Fold 4. But it's this larger cell that's great news for the more demanding users like me who still really like the Flip's form factor. And that's pretty much all the new features that I got from the, briefing that Samsung gave. Partly because they only gave us about 30 minutes to spend with both devices, but I think partly also because there just isn't a whole lot that's like very new with these smartphones. And unfortunately, that makes me really sad as a tech enthusiast because I feel like this also isn't going to change anytime soon. I'm not exaggerating when I say that Samsung is the only smartphone maker that makes a usable folding device right now. I mean, who else makes something that's even close to comparable? Huawei? Maybe, but they're still stuck in the no GMS hole, and that really saps the desirability from their phones, especially when something like the P50 Pocket costs even more than the Galaxy Z Flip 3. Samsung has such a monumental lead on the competition that they can afford to rest on their laurels. They can afford to make just a good folding phone because everything else isn't even close to being as capable, practical, or usable as the Samsung Galaxy Z series. And if that means we get basically the same smartphone year after year the way we already are with the mainstream flagship phones like a Galaxy S device or an iPhone whatever number, then I guess that's what the world with no meaningful competition looks like. Or maybe I'm the one that's expecting too much from this folding phone form factor. Maybe this really is all you can do with it. In which case, that is kind of disappointing. And I guess my next course of action will be to look at what comes next, or what the real future of mobile computing will be. Does anyone remember where we left our modular smartphones? Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize for it being a little bit short, but we really didn't have a lot of time with the device, nor do we have a lot of information like price and full Malaysian specs. Not available right now, but the moment they are, I will leave a link in the description or pinned as a comment, so go and check that out. That should be coming sometime this week though, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime though, let me know what you think of these minor sort of talk updates to these new devices. Do you think that folding phones should be like this moving forward? Like, should it be updated the way we update normal candy bar smartphones? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But that is it for this video. Thank you again for watching. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss future videos. We're also on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and all the other social media platforms. So check us out there. But our home on the internet will always be at searchandshout.com. So I will catch you there. Bye bye.